Howdy folks, and welcome to another Taste of Gameplay video, this time for the American Tier 2 Tech Tree Cruiser, the Chester. I decided to play the Chester because I played the Erie earlier today, and I just was like, I wonder what the Chester is like. And it had this really cool white and gold camo exterior, and I was like, okay, we're off to a good start. This video is going to be 14 minutes long because that's how long this game is going to take. It is going to be a victory. I am going to fire 602 shells and hit something like 356 of them. I looked it up. Let's see. I fire 4 shells every time I fire, generally speaking. So that means I'm going to fire 150 salvos. I think each salvo, it's like 6 seconds. So that's like 900 seconds. Yeah, that's like 15 minutes of me just firing on cooldown. The math seems a little off there, but whatever. It's just a lot. Like when I dropped the video into my video editor, it shows you the waveform of the audio, and it looks like some sort of terrible EDM song, right? Like all of the beats are exactly lined up on time. There's something fundamentally odd about Tier 2, and I'd like to, again, when I finally get around to doing topic videos instead of ship videos, I really would like to explore this because Tier 1, admittedly to veteran players, can feel a little dull sometimes. I mean, it certainly moves slower, but there is a sort of energy to Tier 1 which is completely missing from Tier 2, especially if you end up playing a cruiser. Tier 2 cruisers are just kind of sad, and I think what it is, so I was looking at the Chester versus the Erie, which is the Chester's the Tier 2 version of the Erie, and here's the basic problem. If I remember right, the Erie has 5,200 hit points. The Chester has 19,350. The Erie has 4 guns that shoots about every 6 seconds, and they do about 1,200 damage. The Chester has 6 guns, but you can only fire 4 of them at the same time, so the same number of guns, and they do like 1,450 damage. So they do maybe like 20% more damage, but you have almost 4 times as many hit points. And I don't really know why they did that as a game design choice. I mean, it's not entirely fair. There's a few other things, guns have a little more range. They have a little better dispersion at Tier 2. But big picture, you get well over twice more extra defensive potential than you do offensive potential. And so a lot of games just devolve into this thing where you're just roaming around. And I mean, that formula changes somewhat if you're in a destroyer. Like I've played some fun Tier 2 matches in a V25 because torpedoes have just much higher alpha and they do a lot more damage. And the V25 gets 6 of them. So you can land a full broadside of torpedoes or a full rack of torpedoes and just sink a cruiser just right away if you do a torpedo rush. This really becomes evident when you're in a Tier 2 cruiser and you have to face Tier 3 battleships. I'm going to end up at the end of this game. And by the way, if this is your first time to this channel, please, this is not the video to watch. I know that's a weird thing for a YouTuber to say, but this is just so you know, in case any of you are new to what is going on here, I am trying to film a video for every single ship in the game. And that means some of them are going to be less interesting than others. And this has got to be one of the least interesting ones. So this is not a great place to start. Please, I would suggest you enjoy one of my videos that has a few more views. And even if you're on this video, I forgive you if you don't want to slog through 14 and a half minutes of this Chester firing over and over again. But one of the reasons why it's going to be so long is because in a couple minutes here is going to be the only interesting part maybe of the video, where I'm going to face the enemy player. He's going to decide to charge me in his V25, which is not a great plan, and I'm going to sink him, which is going to be fun. But once that's done, I am almost guaranteed to win this game, for the very simple reason that bots simply can't hit you. They just can't hit you. So if you are not dumb enough to like walk into a torpedo, which I think at that point there's not going to be any destroyers on the enemy team, so there are no torpedoes. But anyway, you're just never going to get hit. So you're guaranteed to win if you're just willing to sit there and fire long enough. The problem becomes, and you're going to see me struggle with this while we focus for a minute on me dueling this enemy V25. I mean, he's really hard to hit, but like I don't have to hit him that many times. He just doesn't have that many hit points, and these guns do just a little too much damage relative to these destroyers. I mean, as bad as they are for cruisers and especially battleships, they are really good at destroying destroyers, which of course is what cruisers are supposed to do. So anyway, any minute now he's gonna go down, and once he goes down, then like I said, we're gonna be left. Oh, yeah, here comes his torpedoes. This is his one chance. I think he's going to land one of them. Yeah. I think even if he landed both of them, I wouldn't have been destroyed. Though, I mean, eventually the bots might have hit me. But anyway, okay, back to my point. Here we go, right? So now there are 4 battleships on the opposing team, and none of them are Mikasa's, so they're all tier 3 battleships. They each have like 30,000 hit points. They are never going to hit me. So now it's just a matter of like farming. I mean, it's not literally 120,000 damage because some of them already took some damage, but it's probably like 70, 80,000 damage. I have to farm like 70, 80,000 damage with these Chester guns, which, well, actually it's probably more, right? Because they have heals, and bots do use heals. I mean, it's going to take me like, let's see, where are we at? Yeah, we're only halfway done with this video. I'm at the 6.5 minute mark, and it's going to be, yeah, close to like 14.5 minutes. It's going to take me that long. Nothing interesting is going to happen. I started thinking like, I started really figuring out, how do I optimize this, right? Partially, it just comes down to setting fires. You just got to set as many fires as you can. I have a few problems. One is I can't pen most of these battleships. There's just a few small areas that I can pen. Mostly the absolute edge of the bow, and then very small portions of the superstructure. Maybe the stern, although I think on the Tyran I can't even pen the stern. And when I do pen, I do, what is it, like 281 damage now per shell on saturated areas. And he's got 35,000 hit points. 35,000. I mean, so what is that? That means I got to hit him with, if he was full health, which I know he's not, I got to hit him with 140 shells. That means if I hit him with every shell, every time I fired, that's 4 shells, 140 divided by 4. That's like 35 times of me firing a salvo and hitting every single shell. And if I fire every 6 seconds, that's over 3.5. That's like 3.5 minutes. If I hit every single shell, which of course I don't. And I mean, you know, it's not quite exact. There's a few times when I get a little more damage because I hit an unsaturated part of his ship, but that's going to quickly fade. And so the only real chance I have is fires, because fires tick for a pretty good amount of damage if you can get them to tick. Bots always, especially at this level, maybe at every level, bots use their fire control immediately. So you have to set a fire, they use their fire control, then you have to set another fire. I think I'm finally going to get this Chikima. And that's the easy one. That's the cruiser. That was the small fry, right? It's almost to the point where I'm like begging my bot teammates to just ram them. I mean, because my bot friends can't hit them any more than they can hit me. There's also secondaries on this cruiser, by the way. Like, I have no idea why. Maybe it's just historical reasons. I'm going to do small amounts of damage with them here and there. So, I mean, the calculations aren't exact, but the big picture here is it just takes absolutely forever to chew through these battleships. And it's weird because it's almost uniquely a problem with tier 2. Like tier 1 doesn't have this problem because the ships have really poor armor and much fewer hit points. So they go down reasonably easy. And even at tier 3, you often just have better tools for dealing with things. Way more ships have torpedoes. I feel like the guns ramp up again, whereas the HP really doesn't. And then definitely by tier 4, I don't feel this problem. Like cruisers have stronger guns. There's way more torpedoes flowing around. Battleships actually start to feel less, like a little underpowered around tier 4 because they can't hit anything. And then, I mean, in quote unquote regular World of Warships tiers, let's say 7 through 10, I mean, this is not an issue, right? Like, you never have to just stand there and fire over and over for 3.5 minutes on a target that you're hitting with every single shell. Like, that's not a thing. I don't really know why they did this. It's not particularly fun. It doesn't particularly make the game easier for newer players. It just seems to drag things out. I mean, I guess it makes it less likely that you're going to just like get dev struck and lose in the first couple of minutes. I guess. And maybe that's the point. Like they want you to play the full game as a new player. They don't want you to die in the first couple minutes. I mean, certainly tier 10 games are way more lethal, right? In a tier 10 game, if you mess up badly enough, you can be dead in 3 minutes, or you can just be headed back to port instantly. Whereas that can't happen in a tier 2 game. And I guess that's good. But if the trade-off is that the games are just dull, I mean, this is not, like I always say, in terms of game design, it's all about interesting decisions. There's no interesting decisions here. There's never any point in me not firing my guns. If I was facing players, it might be slightly more interesting because I'd have to think about, I mean, I couldn't just sit broadside to these guys. I'd have to try to like fire over islands or something. But honest to God, if I was facing players, I would just give up at this point. I mean, there's no way. I mean, what the heck would I do? Try and hide behind islands and shoot over them? I mean, can you imagine against a player? You'd have to sit here. I mean, you're never going to hit them like this, right? They're not going to sail in straight lines. It's a guaranteed loss at that point. And maybe I said tier 2, but maybe it's really kind of uniquely a problem with tier 2 cruisers because the battleships have much stronger guns. And I mean, they have real problems with things like dispersion being super bad. But, I've played the Koenig Albert. Well, I mean, I guess that's tier 3. Yeah, I guess that's the problem. There's no tier 2 battleships except the Mikasa, and that's a whole another thing. Go watch my Mikasa video for that one. But this problem of the guns being out of proportion to the hit point of the target seems like a uniquely tier 2 issue. But I got to tell you, it's a struggle. We're getting there, though. We're getting there. Look at this. I've done 112,000 damage. 113 in a tier 2 cruiser in a Chester. This has got to be some kind of like world damage record at the Chester. I'm kidding. I'm sure it's not. I wonder what the world damage record is at the Chester. It's got to be. I mean, because this is it, right? You have no other tools in the Chester other than ramming people, I guess. But like, you don't have torpedoes. You don't have AP shells. There's nothing, man. There's nothing. This is it. This is absolutely it. I don't even think you have any AA or ASW. So like, this is what you do in the Chester. You sit here and you click the left mouse button at anything within range and hope it doesn't fight back. Whew. Man, Kraken, Arsonist, high caliber, Confederate, 120,000 damage, 15 minutes, 602 shells fired, 365 shells hit, another 23 or so secondary shells fired, 7 shells hit there. I almost hit the back to port button. I mean, my God, I would never do this if I wasn't making these videos. I cannot imagine ever playing the Chester again. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.